We've got Hadres bringing the Empire versus ODM ChosenOne and the Wood Elves. This is round 2 of their best of 3 battle. Winner will be going to the semifinal, and ODM ChosenOne is up 1-0 at the moment. Map is Galbaraz, so let's load in and see what's going on. Alrighty, so starting with our red player, since it's round 2, we're going to be seeing a relatively small Wood Elf army here, just under 600 units, and we're going to have 2 Great Stag Knights. For the mobility here, looks like we have 5 Eternal Guard. All of them will have shields. We're then going to be looking up front at 1, 2, and 3 Way Watchers. Now for the hero squad, looks like we have a Spellsinger of Life, a Waystalker with the Arrow of Kurnos, Eye of Kurnos, and then we also have a Spellsinger with Earthblood and Awakening to the Wood, and a Glade Lord with Prey Vanathrama and Arrow of Kurnos. For some reason that name I just said for the Waystalker escaped my mind by the time I got to the Glade Lord. Anywho, over here to the Empire in blue, gonna have Huntsman up front. Backing them up, we'll have some Silver Bullets, and then we're going to have Empire Knights. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 Empire Knights. Got 4 units of Flagellants for that Unbreakable Infantry, and then 3 units of Spearmen with shields. For the leadership in this army, we have a Fire Sorcerer, Bright Wizard. Going to be a Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Ruin, and Kindle Flame. And then we have Marcus Wolfheart. He's going to have the Hunter's Stare, the Huntsman's Snare, and Fleet-Footed. So that's going to be it. Time to see who comes out on top. Empire Army pretty straightforward, focused on the heavy cav, a lot of archer firepower, and they all have stock, and he's not even going to bring any artillery because he doesn't want to worry about, I imagine, Arrow of Kurnos sniping him out. So should have ourselves a good fight. It's definitely going to be a matter of numbers versus skill here. In lore-wise, I mean, like, Wood Elves are far more skillful than Empire State troops. So we'll see what comes out on top, quantity or quality. I will say the Waystalkers aren't going to have too many ideal targets. I mean, the Empire Knights are really going to be what they want to focus on, but other than that, they don't have a lot of expensive targets to drag down. So we'll see. Where is the sorcerer? Oh yeah, it's Marcus Wolfheart. And so it begins. Alright, armies positioning themselves, and looks like we're getting into the skirmish phase quite quickly here as our Waystalkers are coming out. We'll see what they're targeting soon enough, but Arrows of Kurnos going down into the Empire Knights. And bada bing, Waystalkers, I'm going to use that first volley just to take these Flagellants down to almost half health. Like I was saying earlier, it's going to be a bit of overkill for them because, they really have armor-piercing rounds and stuff, but 23 ammunition, so I think they have 24 to start with, and as you can see, they're already getting some really good work. I like the fire discipline, though. No more than 1 volley on each of them by the looks of it, and without any heals, the Empire's going to be sticking with it, or sticking with that damage. Stuck with that damage, I guess, is the right way to put it. Alright, Empire staying patient, just pushing forward, keeping its, army in general order, and just trying to play it patiently. Right now the Wood Elves have to eliminate a lot of units in order to even it up in the troop count, so it looks like they're just going to kind of really focus on the kite game here with the Waystalkers, and then only engage once they absolutely have to. And right now, as you can see, of the Flagellants, only one of them, actually no, all of them are down health, like most of them below half health now. One of them, about quarter health down, so some pretty painful stuff so far, but we'll see when these Waystalkers decide to change targets and hit the Empire Knights, because if the Great Stag Knights can get just like dominance, like mobility dominance on the field, this Empire army is very much going to struggle. The Flagellants as the front line, definitely going to be painful for the Empire to deal with, though, too, because then what that's going to allow the Wood Elves to do is basically to have an infantry dominance on the field. They'll be able to push forward their Eternal Guard, which means all of the Empire Knights are more than likely going to have to be staying on top of them to survive. But over here, a huge loss for the Wood Elves as the Glade Lord got greedy, went out too far, and has died. Balance of power is still in favor of the Wood Elves for now, but the Glade Lord has died, and that's going to apply a leadership penalty across the field here as the Wood Elves react. Huntsman not giving that Glade Lord a moment to breathe. And right now the Empire is cornering him. We'll have to keep an eye over here because this is a rule break. We'll have to have him move out of there. Yeah, just gotta give him a quick reminder there. They can't be this close to the white line. Right now he's running away, but he can't use it defensively. So we're going to be keeping an eye on it. I know ChosenOne is an experienced player, and likely he's just using it to maneuver. Okay, over here, Eternal Guard diving into the Empire Spearmen. Great Stag Knights being very cautious, and I appreciate it because the Huntsmen here, the Great Stag Knights, 60 armor, they have brass shields or bronze shields, but that's not a lot. So they're going to have to be very careful. If the Huntsmen get a good volley off on them, it's going to be so bad. And right now they're getting into range, and I think that's a big risky move. But right now it looks like they're pulling out, maybe drawing out some fire and then pulling back. But already, as you can see, taking some decent damage. They have to be very, very careful against those Huntsmen. Right now it does appear our Waystalker units are pushing out hard to the right flank. We have some Eternal Guard nearby, and the Great Stag Knights are coming through. So it doesn't look like these Empire Knights are going to successfully threaten the Waystalkers. Probably going to get eliminated before they can close the gap, and boom, there they go, dead to right. Eternal Guard now pushing forward at the state troops. And it looks like the Wood Elf Infantry is getting committed. But unfortunately, the Wood Elves haven't really sent any of their infantry into the back lines. And oh no, Hunter's Snare going down on top of the Great Stag Knights. Silver Bullets and the Huntsmen are in range. And will this be a game-changing moment for the Empire? Right now, net wore off, Earthblood going down. The Great Stag Knights are still healthy enough to retreat. It's just to be a matter of if our Wood Elf player does so in time, or if they're going to take too much damage while they're in. Balance of power now shifting over to the Empire for the first time. Empire Knights hitting the Eternal Guards. You see an Eye of Kurnos going after the Knights, but not getting a very good hit. Wood Elves very much, I think, recognizing the wind condition with these Great Stag Knights and trying to play them as cautiously as possible, but it looks like this is the moment. They're going to go for it. They're going for... Oh, no! Just kidding. Yes? No? Maybe? I can't tell. Here we go. Yeah, they're committing now. They're going into the Huntsmen. Waystalkers opening fire into these Huntsmen, and you're going to see the giant Stag Knights just running, making a beeline for all of these vulnerable archer units. And we have Empire Knights over here hitting the Eternal Guard very, very hard. Great Stag Knights are now pulling away from the Huntsmen, a very risky maneuver, but they're trying to break the front line, and it looks like they're going to be able to do so with a huge charge into the back of the Spearmen. They're now trying to turn around again in time for the, basically to engage these Huntsmen again before they get shot to pieces, but it looks like the Huntsmen and the Silver Bullets are doing their jobs with great efficiency. These Great Stag Knights just withering underneath this fire. Over here, going to be seeing a burning head. Looks like it's connecting with a lot of the Way Watchers. Great Stag Knights have routed what remains of the Huntsmen, though. Balance of power significantly in favor of the Empire at this moment. We have strategic reserves back here in the form of a full health Spearman and a full health Empire Knight. And Marcus Wolfheart still around, so is the Bright Wizard. But Wood Elves now kind of looking like they're pushing forward, trying to make a comeback here. And if they can eliminate the Bright Wizard, that would be a nice place to start for them. Right now they are routing a lot of key units, and as you can see, in spite of the balance of power, I think this is still anybody's game, so we'll see what happens. Right now, the Empire Knight's getting a beautiful charge into a bunch of unbraced Eternal Guard. Great Stag Knights need to play this so carefully. They cannot be they can be nowhere near these spearmen, especially if the Empire Knights are coming at them. I would probably peel them off, start running this way. They are way faster than Empire Knights at 90 speed compared to 66, so they just have to keep a respectful distance and they'll be okay. There goes the Huntsman Snare, though. And I don't know who hit the lag switch. Hunter Snare sealing the fate of the Wood Elves, I think, here. We still have a decent amount of Wood Elf infantry, though. Some Eternal Guard here. And really, it's just the main Empire State troop left. There's like the Spearmen and this Empire Knight. So if the Wood Elves can hold it together, then maybe, just maybe, they can still win this. They still have their Spellsinger of Life. They still have their Waystalkers, so they're not leaderless. And honestly, the Spellsinger of Life, as long as she stays away from the Empire Knights, maybe she can chase down Wolfric. But oh, a huge hit from Wolfric on top of the Spellsinger. That is painful to see, and Wolfric going to continue targeting her. But that one going to miss and actually do some friendly fire. Sorry. I don't think he yelled out for either, so that's on Marcus. Over here, army losses looking like they may be about to kick in. And looks like the Empire's going to pull this off, so Hadres is going to be tying it up. 1-1.
The Empire will fall.
Marcus getting a crazy amount of damage. The Huntsman really doing work, but I mean, have a huge shout out here to ChosenOne with the Waystalkers. Look at them just raking in the value. But a huge loss there early on with the Glade Lord. That Hunter Snare pinning her in place. Nothing ChosenOne could do to save her. She was on a horse, so she was a large target, lightly armored. And 4 Huntsmen in the Silver Bullets, you know, you guys saw it. You know, I don't need to beat a dead horse. That Glade Lord melted like nobody's business. Painful thing to see, and you know, that really losing out on those Net of Mintox and things like that, as the, or sorry, not Net of Mintox, Prey of Anathramas, missing out on that is really hard to come back from. And I think if it weren't for that play, this battle may have worked out very differently. It was that close, but not to take away from Hadres, some really nice plays there, recognizing what his win conditions were, just staying calm, pushing forward, and executing this battle well. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, round 3, the tiebreaker between Hadres, who's bringing the Wood Elves, against ODM ChosenOne and the Dwarfs. Alright, starting with our Wood Elves. In blue, we're going to have 4 Wildwood Rangers with 2 War Dancers. Got 2 Glade Guard here, 2 Glade Riders with Spears, and the Regiment of Renowned Great Stag Knights, the Lost Sylvan Knights. For the heroes, looks like we have 2 Waystalkers, each of them with Arrow of Kurnos and Hawkish Precision. Also going to be taking a look here at the Spellweaver, the Lord Beast. Where the hell did she go? Spellweaver! Actually, I can see her card anyways. So, got Loic's Blessing here. Just a cool ability. Gives stop or speed and stock to everybody in the AoE. Got Arcane Conduit. We're also going to be seeing Opal Amulet with the Amber Spear and Transformation of Kadan. We'll see how the Amber Spear goes here, but it can do a ton of damage against dwarf units if you get a flank shot. So, hard to pull off, but it can net a lot of value on the right targets. But that rounds out the Wood Elves, and for the Dwarfs, we're going to be seeing Longbeards. Now we have Dwarf Warriors in the center by the looks of it. 3 of them, and Longbeards on either flank. We have 2 Blasting Charge Miners in the kind of like a checkerboard formation with the Dwarf Warriors up front. Have Rangers in the back line. Got 4 of them. 2 Thunderers on one on either flank and 1 in the center, making it 3. Have 2 more Longbeards, bringing it to a total of 4. Now, other than that, we are going to be seeing Master Engineer, 2 of them. Hell yeah, with the Fiery Rings of Thori. So basically like a fire breath attack. And we're going to have the Rune Lord with the Master Rune of Negation, Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, Master Rune of Oath and Steel, and then we're also going to be seeing the Rune of Earth and Home and Forge Fire. Now that rounds out both armies, and time to see who comes out on top between Master Engineers, 180 range, versus Waystalkers, 190 range. This should be a good fight. Both builds going for kind of a similar thing. Got Caster Lord, or Rune Caster Lord in the Dwarf's case, 2 Skirmishing Heroes, and all. But the difference is the Dwarves are going very heavy on the Skirmishing, more so than the Wood Elves are. So we'll see how it works out. Longbeard should hold their own just fine, but the Wildwood Rangers should have a good time against the rest of the infantry engagements as long as they can avoid those blasting charges, which are quite painful. Arrow of Kronos going down here, hitting these Dwarf Warriors, a nice flank angle. And there goes another Arrow of Kronos. This one not going to get as much damage, but still hitting the Dwarf Warriors. Would have liked to have seen those targeted on the Longbeards, but hey, hindsight's 50-50, and maybe he just didn't see him, and he was going for the angle rather than the unit. Over here, he missed one of the Wildwood Rangers, but now you can see Loek's Blessing is effective, and these guys are all pushing out of the woods. Right now, you're going to see these Wildwood Rangers and War Dancers pushing out this way. And we'll see if the Dwarfs catch on soon or not. As of right now, for all they know, there's nothing in front of them, and that's actually cool. But now here we are, Wildwood Rangers appearing before the Dwarf army. Unfortunately, they still have some distance to cover, and we'll see how it goes for them. So, you see these War Dancers getting targeted by Rangers. It's very, very painful. Oh my goodness, we have an Eagle Summon. I forgot that the Elves have an Eagle Summon and not a Manticore Summon. Over here, Lost Sylvan Knights going into the Miners with the blasting charges. The other Miners getting a devastating volley off on top of these War Dancers. And actually getting some 2-for-1 damage there into the Wildwood Rangers. And here comes another one, and look at that. The War Dancers just devastated. But now they've closed the gap, and we'll see if they can hold out in the combat there. Meanwhile, Blade Riders with Spears in the backlines on top of Thunderers with the Great Eagle. That's some very nice value here. Wood Elves really putting up pressure on a lot of fronts. Terror kicking in the center where the Lost Sylvan Knights are. And they are pushing forward with a vengeance. There's no healing in this Wood Elf army, so gotta remember, whatever damage the Lost Sylvan Knights take, they will keep. But for right now, they're relatively healthy, and a really nice break in the center there has allowed them to clean up 2 Thunderers, and maybe even a Quarreler here, but right now you can see the Thunderers getting chased by the remaining Wood Elf Knights, and the balance of power is in their favor. So over here, one Master Engineer seems to be getting focused down by both of the Waystalkers. They seem to be coming out on top, no question about it. Terror kicking in on top of the Master Engineer now, and he's going to start routing. Over here, you can see after breaking through the center, it looks like the Wood Elves have come to meet up with their right flank Wildwood Rangers and War Dancers, and now they're just kind of sandwiching everything here. And right now the Wood Elves looking like they're in a very good spot so far. That's the key word there, so far. We do see the Spellweaver getting a Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, slowing her down. Loek's Blessing going down to improve the speed though, and also give her Unspottable. And I don't know, the Dwarfs need to get something going quick here, because now the Wood Elf Infantry is actually in a dominant position. Wildwood Rangers Wildwood Rangers slicing through the Dwarf Warriors. I'm sure there's some Longbeards nearby. Here comes a Fiery Ring of Thori, doing some nice damage hitting those Wildwood Rangers. Alright, some Dwarfs are regrouping near the Waystalkers, but it looks like the Waystalkers will be okay, and they are almost done killing this Master Engineer. He only has 234 health, so probably one more volley will do it. And over here, look at this. The Spellweaver Beast getting into some crap and losing a lot of health. She's running away as fast as possible, hightailing it out of there. Master Engineer still firing away, though, with that 180 range, pretty significant. But now the Lost Sylvan Knights are in to the cookie jar, but Balance Power is still not crazy in favor of the Wood Elves. You know, they still have an edge here, but I'm not sure if it's going to mean they win it. Oh, that was a perfect Amber Bow. Did you see it just go through all of those units, killing all of the models it came into contact with? That was devastating. Now we do have strategic reserves from the Wood Elves in the form of 2 Glade Guard. Now they have like pretty much full ammunition, so they're going to start opening fire here, and that's going to really hurt the morale for the Dwarfs. Over here, Lost Sylvan Knights may want to pull out of combat. They're losing a bit here, and I don't know, you don't want to like let them get dragged down too much further, because you want to keep this terror option on the field for as long as possible. Over here, Glade Riders with spears, continuing to harry the back line. Ooh. Unfortunately, that Arrow of Kurnos didn't quite get a good connection there. Sometimes they'll, similar to an Amber Bow, just kind of go further down the line. Here comes another Amber Spear. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit off target. Really off target, I should have said. That's an unfortunate. Oh, Fiery Ring of Thori. Doing some good damage to the Glade Guard here. Thunder is firing away, doing good damage too. And look at that, the Dwarfs are starting to creep their way back in to the Balance of Power, ladies and gentlemen. Lost Sylvan Knights, Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin on top of them now. Wildwood Rangers in combat, though, to support them, and we have both of the Waystalkers now coming into combat, looking like they may be trying to get a piece of the Rune Lord, who has just popped a Master Rune of Negation to give that huge ward save. Lost Sylvan Knights going after the Thunderers now. Balance of Power officially in Red's favor, though. Wildwood Rangers pairing up with the Waystalkers to try to eliminate the Rune Lord. It looks like it's working. Master Rune Lord does have the Master Rune of Oath and Steel on, so 160 armor on top of him, and on top of the Longbeards who are fighting here. Wildwood Rangers do have that armor piercing, but against 2 Longbeards, I don't think they're going to be able to win. Balance of Power back to the Wood Elves, but man, this is really back and forth, to say the least. Over here, Glade Guard hanging on by a thread, but still got him here. Still got some ammunition to fire away. And the Lost Sylvan Knights, most importantly, are still alive and kicking. They have 449 HP, but still 8 models, and that terror is going to be something that the Dwarves have to contend with here, and the Wood Elves. These may be a win factor here. I mean, the Longbeards are immune to psychology, so that doesn't matter. But when we get over here to the Rune Lord, or the Rune Lord is too, actually, but in that case, the Master Engineer is not. But oh, Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down on top of them once again. And let's see what kind of damage goes down here, because the Master Engineer is going to be firing into him. Might kill some models, and then we also see over here Rangers firing into him. They only have just under 300 HP now. There they go for their charge, but it was rather anticlimactic as they were slowed down significantly. And the Dwarves just slowing the Sylvan Knights down, dragging them down. Only 200 HP left. What will happen from here? Blade Guard can just firing away at the Rangers as they push forward, shattering them on that last volley. While Sylvan Knights are routing. Oh, Amber Bow, or it's not Amber Bow, Amber Spear going down to the Rune Lord. Ow, Waystalker's on his ass now. We do have Longbeard's coming in to play defense though. That Waystalker might get surrounded and that's gonna hurt. Oh man, I put my money on the Master Engineer over the Waystalker any day. Waystalker, what? Has a weapon strength of 325. Master Engineer, 280, but armor piercing? I guess never mind. Not as good as I thought it was, but see if the Glade Guard can tip it. But this battle is crazy close. It's actually kind of hilarious how down to the wire this Wood Elf Dwarf matchup has come. But there it is. The Terror out. The Lost Sylvan Knight's going to pull it out. GG, well played. And looks like Hadres going to pull it out and take a 2-1 victory over ChosenOne. And keep in mind, that was after he was down a 0-1 deficit to ChosenOne, so very nice comeback. Yeah, last Amber Spear really brought it back for him, Optimus Pine. That was getting out of hand, no doubt. Yeah, Lost Sylvan Knights, they didn't even pay for themselves, but they definitely paid for themselves, you know what I mean? Wildwood Rangers being really well utilized, all but one of them get paying for themselves. War Dancers had a bit of a rougher time. Waystalker play very nice, and same with this Spellweaver. I like this Wood Elf army, and he played it to near perfection, and it's always a risky play bringing a 2,000 gold ROR unit without any healing options, so power to him. And this Dwarf army, same thing, I like it a lot. It was a very close game, just happened to go to the Wood Elves there. Hadres executing quite nicely, and taking the best of 3, so let's go ahead, get out of here, go to the semis.